Good morning. Let me start with the third session on block diagram reduction. In this particular session, we are going to solve numerical based on the block diagram and their reductions. So let me begin with the first numerical. So now you can see this block diagram representation which is shown here. Let us begin with observation of this block diagram and let us try to understand the input output and transfer functions which are connected in forward line and reverse line respectively. So let me begin with the left hand side. RS is input. Then you can observe there is one summing point, or you can say there are two summing points connected in series. Then you can see one transfer function G1 or one block which is connected in forward line. Then again there is summing point and there is one block G2, and then there is output CS. Now if you see the reverse line, this was forward line which we started from RS and ended at CS. Now we will start from CS and we will go to RS, and thus this line will be referred as reverse line or feedback line. So let me begin with this CS. This CS, one line from CS is taken out and block H3 is connected here, and which is further connected to first summing point. So that is why H3 is considered as the function in the or block which is connected in the reverse line. Similarly, one output of CS is taken out and which is labeled as H2, or to that particular signal one block is added, that is H2, and which is connected to this particular summing point. After this, output from this particular point is taken and additional block H1 is added, and it is further connected to this particular summing point. So now we can observe immediately after observing this particular representation, we can observe two minor feedback loops. First minor feedback loop is this one, because we have one transfer function or one block in the forward line, one block in the reverse line, one summing point, one input and one output. Similarly, second minor feedback loop is this one, where you can see one output, one function or one block in the reverse line, one block in the forward line, one summing point and one input. So let us try to eliminate this minor feedback loop. First this one and then this one. So and then after eliminating these two minor feedback loops, transfer function of minor feedback loop 1 and transfer function of minor feedback loop 2 will come in series. That is why this green zone is shown here. So these two functions will come in series, so we can take multiplication. Thus we get single transfer function in the forward line, then single transfer function H3 in the reverse line, one summing point, one input and one output. So that is why last will be this particular transformation, and this is how we will be able to solve it. Okay, so now let us solve this. So if you observe here, this minor feedback loop and this minor feedback loop has been eliminated and it has been converted into transfer function. So for this particular minor feedback loop, we can write formula as G1 divided by 1 plus G1 into H1. प्लस का घेतलेला आहे कारण इथे फीडबॅकचं साइन निगेटिव्ह आहे म्हणून इथे प्लस घेतलेला आहे. सो G1 divided by 1 plus G1 into H1. Similarly, if you observe here, G2 is transfer function in the forward line and H2 is the block which is connected in the reverse line. So we can reduce this at G2 divided by 1 plus G2 into H2. So after eliminating this minor feedback loop and this minor feedback loop, we got two blocks which are connected in parallel. So we can take directly multiplication of this block and this block. So we get answer as G1 into G2 divided by 1 plus G1 H1 into 1 plus G2 H2. Now if you observe, by taking multiplication of these two blocks, we have got single block. So now here this is also a minor feedback loop where one block is connected in forward line, one block is connected in reverse line along with summing point, input and output. So let us try to write transfer function for this minor feedback loop. We can write it as G1 into G2 divided by 1 plus G1 H1 into 1 plus G2 H2 divided by 1 plus, because now this is minus, So we will write it as 1 plus this complete transfer function into h2. So now if you observe it carefully over here, you can get this particular transformation. So as I already said, this transfer function is taken on the numerator, which we have written here, divided by 1 plus, because here the sign of h3 is negative, which is minus negative feedback. So we have to add the multiplication of forward block and the reverse block. So we can write this as 1 plus this particular transfer function, that is g1 g2 divided by 1 plus g1 h1 into g1 plus g2 h2 multiplied by block reverse block function, which is h3. And now after solving this particular if we can say the if we simplify this particular term, we can get the simplified form as g1 g2 divided by 1 plus g1 h1 1 plus g2 h2 plus g1 g2 and h3. Even if you write this answer and if you keep this answer as it is, then also you will get full marks. If you don't make it in the simplified form, no problem. It is important to get this term correctly. Its simplification is just a mathematical operations that can be performed by anybody. So this step will be considered as the last step of the block diagram reduction. So transfer function for this particular numerical is considered to be this term which has been simplified. So now let us go to second example. So here we can see one input, then the summing point, then one block in forward line g1, then there are two summing points which has been taken, the feedback from this line is taken as h2, from this line it is taken as h3, then there is another block g2. After g2, the output of this particular line is taken, which is considered as feedback h2 and h1, which are connected to corresponding summing points, this and this one. And lastly there is one block again connected as g3, and then there is last output cs. So now if you observe here carefully, you can see this takeoff point is added between two transfer functions or two blocks which are connected in series. So if you want to take g2 and g3 in series, you have to shift this takeoff point either to this side or either to this side. So to make it convenient and the simplified form, usually takeoff point is always shifted to the right hand side of the any block. So now what we can do is we have to shift h2 and h1 and this corresponding output to the right hand side of the g3. So what we have to do, we can shift it directly here, so that g2 and g3 will come in series, and we can thus reduce these two blocks in a single block by performing the multiplication. Then after doing this transformation, the multiplication of these two will give you single block. Then you can observe one feedback block here along with single summing point, single input and single output. So this will serve as a minor feedback loop, and you can reduce this, or you can eliminate this minor feedback loop using the usual formula. After that, the function which you get after eliminating this particular minor feedback loop will again come into contact with this feedback h2. So this will again serve as a minor feedback loop number 2. Then you have to reduce it using usual formula, and then after eliminating minor feedback loop number 2, the transfer function of this minor feedback loop 2 and this g1 will come in series. So you can take the multiplication of these two blocks, so that you will get single block along with one block in the reverse line, so that this will serve as a third minor feedback loop, and that you can eliminate. So now let us try to solve this particular example. So now since we have to shift this T1, that is takeoff point, to the right hand side of the G3, so let us shift it here. Since we are shifting over G3, we have to add 1 upon G3 in the H2 line also and in H1 line also. So I have shifted this takeoff point here, and along with that I have added 1 upon G3 along with H2 and 1 upon G3 along with H1. So in this particular block you can observe that H2 divided by G3 is So you observe carefully, you can see H2 is multiplied with 1 upon G3 and H1 is multiplied with 1 upon G3. So after this, if you observe G2 and G3, they are in series. So you can reduce these two blocks by doing the multiplication. So I can write this as G2 into G3, and after this you can observe one single block in the reverse line. So one single block of G2, G3 in the forward line, this function in the reverse line along with single summing point, single input and single output will make this particular representation as minor feedback loop. So we can eliminate this by taking into account that the multiplication of G2 G3 as G2 G3 divided by 1 plus, because this H3 is negative, so 1 plus G2 G3 into H3, you can see here, see over here. So to eliminate this particular, these two blocks and this single block in the reverse line, we use minor feedback loop, that is G2 G3 because they are in series, divided by 1 plus G2 G3, these two terms, and this feedback H3. So now after eliminating this particular minor feedback loop, we got single transfer function or single block in the forward line, single block in the reverse line, along with one summing point, single input and single output. So what now we can do is we can write this as G2 G3 divided by 1 plus G2 G3 H3 divided by 1 plus, because this H2 divided by G3 is negative, so we can write 1 plus this complete term into H2 divided by G3. You can see over here what I have done. I have taken this transfer function as it is in the numerator, which is divided by 1 plus this particular transfer function again into H2 divided by H3, because H2 divided by G3 is connected in the reverse line. So now after solving this particular minor feedback loop, or by eliminating this particular minor feedback loop, you can see this block and G1 will come in series. So because of that, G1 and this particular term, they are in series, we can take directly multiplication of these terms, and along with that we have one transfer or one block in the reverse line. So what we can do is we can multiply this term with G1 and then we can eliminate this particular minor feedback loop by considering one block in the forward line, one block in the reverse line, one summing point, one input and another and one output. So after solving this by eliminating this particular minor feedback loop, we get final answer as G1 G2 G3 divided by 1 plus G2 G3 H3 plus G2 H2 plus G1 G2 and H1. So this is simplified form of eliminated minor feedback loop of these three terms. So even if you write it like this, that G1 into G2 G3 divided by 1 plus G2 G3 G3 H3 divided by 1 plus G2 G3 divided by 1 plus G2 G3 H1 H3 into H2 divided by G3 divided by 1 plus this particular term, multiplication of these two terms into H1 divided by G3, and if you leave it as it is, then you will get full marks, don't worry. Okay, so now let us go for third example. So here you can see this particular sign is also indicated for the summing point, because this is a symbol of summation. So we can see the one transfer function or one block is connected after the summing point and input, that is G1. After that there is again summing point and then G2 and then ultimately output. Now feedback, if we consider the feedback, one output is taken which is connected to G4 and which is connected to summing point, and after that again one output is taken which is connected to G3 and to the summing point. So now what we can do is we can consider okay, so now what we can do is we can split, since the output of or the feedback line which is connected to G4 and feedback line which is connected to G3 are taken from the same source. So you can split this takeoff point into two separate takeoff points. Thus G2, G3 and this summing point will give you a minor feedback loop that you can eliminate. After eliminating this minor feedback loop, that is G2 divided by 1 minus G2 into G3. So this transfer function and this G1 will come in a series. So you can take multiplication of these two. After taking multiplication of these two, you will get a single block in the forward line and single block in the reverse line. So again what you can do is you can transform this, or you can eliminate this minor feedback loop as G1 into G2 divided by 1 minus G2 G3 divided by 1 minus this multiplication of these two terms as we have taken in the numerator divided by multiplied by G4. So this is how you can solve this problem. So now let us go for the example number 3. So here you can see that there is one single input, two summing points G1, then again summing point G2, and then output. If you see the feedback line, the output CS, one branch of output CS is taken out, which is connected to block H2, and then it is connected to one summing point over here. Again the same output is taken, or that has been extended, which is connected to H1 and then to the summing point number 1, and then the same output is taken, which is connected to H3, and then further it is connected to summing point number 2. So now for the simplicity we will rearrange the block diagram in such fashion that we can eliminate the minor feedback loop easily. So now if you observe here, this H2, since it is connected to summing point number 3, we will keep this line as separate, and the same line has been extended and which is connected to H1 and to the further summing point number 1. So what we will do is we will make this particular line separately, which will be multiplication of obviously H1 and H2, because H2 and H1 are connected in series, and we can make a separate line of H1 H2, and then it is connected to this particular summing point. And now H3 is remaining, which was directly connected to which was taken out from the CS, and then it was connected to summing point number 2. So this particular line is shown as it is. So now after looking to this particular diagram, you can see the minor feedback loop as which includes function G2 and H2. So let us try to eliminate this minor feedback loop. So which will be G2 divided by 1 plus G2 into H2. Then after eliminating this minor feedback loop, the block which is the single block which is presented here will be multiplied with G1, because they both are in series. So this transformation will be done. So after doing this particular transformation, again you will get single block over here, which will be in the feedback loop with H3. So this minor feedback loop of H3 and single function over here will be eliminated, and lastly the single block after eliminating H3 feedback loop will come as minor feedback loop with H1 H2, that will be eliminated as the last step. So now let us try to solve this transformation. So as I already said, G2 and H2, they are in minor feedback loop. So we will write this as G2 divided by 1 plus G2 into H2, and then this G1, since this particular block and this G1 comes in series, G1 is directly multiplied here. So one step is eliminated and directly answer is written. So this answer come after come after two transformations. First transformation is minor elimination of this minor feedback loop, and then multiplication of G1 and this particular function. So that is nothing but G1 G2 divided by 1 plus G2 into H2. So now if you observe this block and H3 feedback, they are in minor feedback loop. So we can write this as G1 G2 divided by 1 plus G2 H2 divided by 1 plus this particular block as it is into H3. That's it. So that is what is written over here. So you can see. So after eliminating this minor feedback loop, again we get this as third minor feedback loop of H1 H2. So again you can eliminate this minor feedback loop as this particular term in the numerator divided by 1 plus Okay, so let us begin with the next example. Here you can see the single input R, then there are two summing points which are connected in series, then there is block which is labeled by G1, then there is again third summing point which has been where the feedback H2 has been connected, and for second feedback or second summing point feedback H1 is connected, and for the first summing point one feedback line is connected but there is no block present, so you can consider this feedback as 1. Then after the third summing point you can see the block G2. After that one takeoff point is there where the feedback H1 is taken or feedback line is taken and H1 block is present. Then there is third block present in the forward line which is G3, and then ultimately the output C is taken out. So now if you observe this diagram carefully, what you can do is either you can shift this particular summing point to the left hand side or this takeoff point to the right hand side. Always remember that summing point should be shifted to the left hand side and takeoff point should be shifted to the right hand side. So now here we will shift this particular summing point to the left hand side of the G1. So as we know that when we shift the summing point over any function, we have to add or we can say we have to make additional block here from which we are moving this particular summing point, reciprocal of that particular block. So here since the summing point is shifted over G1, reciprocal of G1 has to be multiplied with H2. So here we will replace this particular or we will shift this summing point to the left hand side. So G1 will come here and H2 is multiplied by reciprocal of G1. So now G1, G2 they are in series. So we will replace these two blocks by doing multiplication. So G1 and G2 multiplication will be done and it will be represented or it will be reduced in the single block. After this you can see the takeoff point, or what you can do is you can replace or you can rearrange the summing points. So what we will do is we will shift this summing point to this side and this summing point to this side. Since they are connected in series, you can do such transformation or you can do such alteration. What you are doing, you are altering the or you are changing the place of this summing point over here and this summing point over here. Because they are in series, you can do this particular transformation. So what I have done is I have shifted this summing point over here and this over here. So after doing this, the G1, G2 and H1 they will come in the minor feedback loop. So to eliminate this minor feedback loop, what we will do is we will take G1, G2 divided by 1 minus, because H1 is positive, so it will be divided by 1 minus G1, G2 and H1. So this has been replaced. So as we will write it here, G1, G2 divided by 1 minus G1, G2 and H1. Now after this, these two blocks are in series. So we will multiply G3 directly to this particular term. So we will replace this as G1, G2, G3 divided by 1 minus G1, G2 and H1. So now if you observe carefully, this particular representation is nothing but a minor feedback loop. So we will eliminate this minor feedback loop by considering the transformation as G1, G2, G3 divided by 1 minus G1, G2, H1 divided by 1 plus, because H2 divided by G1 is negative, so it will be divided by 1 plus this particular term, that is G1, G2, G3 divided by 1 minus G1, G2, H1 into H2 divided by G1. So this is how it has been transformed. And now if you observe carefully, this is also a minor feedback loop with feedback 1. So this will be replaced by, or you can keep it as it is, because since the feedback is considered as 1, so this complete transformation has to be multiplied with multiplied with 1. So you can keep it as it is, and this will be the end of reduction of block diagram for this particular transfer function example. Okay, so let us start with the next numerical. Here also you can see there is one input RS, there are two summing points connected in series, then there are two blocks G1 and G2 connected in series in forward line, then there is one summing point, after that one block G3, again summing point, and lastly block G5, and then you can see the output YS. Let us try to see the feedbacks which are there in this particular presentation. So first feedback is taken from this, and which is connected as H1 to the second summing point. Second feedback H2 is taken from this point and it is connected to first summing point. Then third feedback H3 is taken from this particular point and it is connected to third summing point. And now G4 is not feedback, it is block or transfer function which is connected in forward line, because if you see the flow of signal which has been taken from this point, it is flowing from left side to right side and it is connected to summing point. So G4 will be considered as block which is connected in forward line in parallel with G3. So when you see this presentation first, then you will identify that here there is one minor feedback loop, because G1 and G2 they are in series, so we can take multiplication as G1 and G2 and then we can solve this as a minor feedback loop. After that you can see these two blocks they are connected in parallel, so this will be reduced by taking summation of G4 and G3. So let us do that. So here what we have done, we have, since G1 and G2 are connected in series, so I have reduced it as G1 G2, and G3 and G4 they were connected in parallel, so I have taken summation. And now you can see one minor feedback loop here, so I can eliminate this minor feedback loop as of now. So this will be G1 G2 divided by 1 plus, because this is H1 is minus, so it will be G1 G2 divided by 1 plus G1 G2 into H1. After this, if you see this particular representation, you can find that there is one takeoff point between this block and this block. So if you want to take G3 plus G4 and G5 in series, you have to move this takeoff point to the right hand side of G5. So now to move this particular point here, what we have to do is we have to add 1 upon G5, we have to multiply 1 upon G5 with H2. So let us go by step. Let us reduce this transfer function so that we got this answer as G1 G2 divided by 1 plus G1 G2 into H1. Now as I already said, we have to shift this summing point to the right hand side of G5, so I have done it here. So I have multiplied H2 with 1 upon G5. So now if you see G3 and G3 plus G4 and G5 they are in series, so I can take multiplication, so I can write G3 in bracket G3 plus G4 bracket complete into G5. So similarly I have done it here, you can see here now. Now after this you can see one minor feedback loop with feedback H3 and this particular block. So we can eliminate this by writing as G3 plus G4 into G5 divided by 1 plus, because H3 is minus, so that will be 1 plus G3 plus G4 into G5 into this complete term multiplied by H3. So you can see it here. So it will be, it is nothing but G3 plus G4 into G5 divided by 1 plus G3 plus G4 into G5 and its feedback H3. Now after reducing this minor feedback loop, this previous block and the reduced minor feedback loop block, they will come in a series. So you can take direct multiplication, where you can take multiplication of this term and this term, so that you will get a single block, which you can see in the next slide. So now I get answer as G1 G2 G5 bracket G3 plus G4 divided by 1 plus G1 G2 H1 into 1 plus G3 plus G4 into G5 into H3. And now you can see the last minor feedback loop with the feedback X2 divided by G5, which has positive sign. So you can take this complete term in the numerator divided by 1 minus this complete term into H2 by G5. So by writing this particular formulation and simplifying this, we can get answer as G1, G2, G5 square into G3 plus G4 divided by 1 plus G1, G2, H1 into 1 plus G3 plus G4 into G5 H3 into G5 minus G1, G2, G5 into G3 plus G4 into H2. So this will be considered as transfer function for the that particular representation. Now let us go for second numerical. So here you can see one input as excess, then Kc is considered as block in the forward line, then G1 and G3 they are also blocks in the forward line, whereas H and G2 are considered to be feedback. So when you look at this particular presentation, you can see the minor feedback loop formed by G1 and G2. So we can write this as G1 divided by 1 plus, because this G2 is minus, so we can write as G1 divided by 1 plus G1 into G2. Now because of elimination of this particular minor feedback loop, Kc, this particular term and G3 they will come in series, so we can take direct multiplication as Kc into G1 into G3 divided by 1 plus G1 G2. Now after taking multiplication of all these three terms, we can see again a minor feedback loop with feedback H which has negative sign, so we can directly write this as Kc into G1 into G3 divided by 1 plus G1 into G2 plus Kc into G1 into G3 into H. So this is how transfer function of this particular numerical can be written like this. Now let us go for third numerical. Here also we have single input, two summing points, then three blocks which are connected in series, then three blocks consisting of G5, G4 and G6 they are connected in parallel, and the ultimate output is given to single summing point, and then a final output as CS. They have two feedbacks as H0 and H1 which are connected to first and second summing point. Now let us try to solve this. Since these three blocks they are connected in series, we can write this as G1 into G2 into G3. Also G5, G4 and G6 they have positive sign and they are connected in parallel, so we can take their summation which is there in the next slide. So you can see here we have taken summation as G4 plus G5 plus G6. So we have reduced two forms, one which was connected in series and another one which was connected in parallel. So we got two blocks with G1, G2, G3 and G4, G5, G6. Now to take these two blocks in series, we have to shift, or instead of that what we can do is we can eliminate this particular minor feedback loop. You can see with H0, because H0 and G1, G2, G3 they form a minor feedback loop, and that can be eliminated by considering the formula as G1, G2, G3 divided by 1 minus G1, G2, G3 into H0, which is written here. Now because of eliminating this particular minor feedback loop, this term, this block and this block they come in a series, so we can take direct multiplication of these two blocks. So now let us take multiplication of these two blocks. So we get G1 into G2 into G3 multiplied by, in bracket, G1 plus G5 plus G6 and divided by the remaining term. So by reducing this two blocks in a single block, we get a final minor feedback loop with feedback H1. So we can write the transfer function by considering this block in the forward line and this block in the reverse line. So we can write this as G1 into G2 into G3 into G4 plus G5 plus G6 divided by 1 minus G1, G2, G3 and H0, again divided by 1 plus, because this H1 has negative sign, so we will consider this as positive. We have to add it in 1, so it will be 1 plus this complete term multiplied by H1, which is written here. So this will be considered as final transfer function for the said numerical. Now let us try to understand how this transfer function and block diagram reduction is applicable for automotive industry. So let us consider the case of adaptive cruise control. So adaptive cruise control is nothing but the speed control or auto cruise is a system that adequately maintains the driver's desired set speed without any intervention by the driver by actuating and controlling the throttle acceleration pedal linkage. In other words, the system takes over the throttle of car and it maintains the steady speed limit which is desirable, which is desired by the driver. So depending upon the driver's selection of the speed, The cruise control system can control the speed of vehicle as same way the driver does by adjusting the throttle position. So according to the researcher called as Hunter, adaptive cruise control system, which is also called as ACC system, which was when activated in a vehicle that takes into consideration the traffic condition and control, and according to it controls the car. Then ACC system does not only operate by maintaining the preset of the car like conventional cruise system, but also it maintains the constant distance between car and the vehicle ahead by adapting to the traffic conditions of road, because many times the traffic conditions of road are very dynamic and lot of variation we can experience with respect to the condition of traffic every day. So when the setting is programmed to operate on the certain set point, which is considered to be the desired speed as shown in the diagram, which we will see in the next slide, further response, that means the which is illustrated by the dotted and bold arrows, occurs sequentially to fully provide necessary feedback needed for initialization of the operation or to initialize the particular operation. Now if you see this particular block diagram, it is obviously a closed loop system. It starts with the set point that is considered as SP or which is considered as the desirable speed. Then there is one summing point, and then the controller error will be set by considering the subtraction between set point and the measured click rate, that is considered to be the PV signal, or which is considered to be the feedback which is coming from the magnet and coil sensor. Then there will be a cruise controller, the output of which will be considered as controller output, that is CO signal to the gas pedal. Then there will be gas pedal control element, the output of which will be manipulated gas flow rate to the car engine. Then there will be car speed process, the output of which will be obviously a car speed. Then if any disturbance comes in this particular process, such as hills or wind, or if there is any problem with the road condition, or if there is a heavy traffic and so on, then this will be considered as the additional input which is connected or which will affect the speed of car speed process. And finally the car speed will be measured at this particular point, which is output point or ultimate output of this control system, by using magnet and coil sensor, and further it will be provided to the summing point where the actual input is coming. So this controller error, which is considered to be ET, is nothing but the subtraction between the input speed or desirable speed minus the feedback signal which is coming from the actual output. So this cruise control actuates the throttle valve by cable connected to an actuator. So throttle valve controls the power and speed of engine by limiting how much air the engine takes in. So as you can see in the figure number 2, which will be seeing in the next slide, two cables can be seen connected to pivot that moves the throttle valve, and one cable which comes from the accelerator pedal and one from the actuator. So when the cruise control is engaged, the actuator moves the cable connected to the pivot which adjusts the throttle, but it also pulls the cable that is connected to the gas pedal. Therefore, this is why the pedal in the vehicle moves up and down when cruise control is engaged. So according to Nice, the cruise control is very essential in automobile as long distance journeys would be more tiresome or boring for drivers or people who are suffering from the fatigue or lead foot syndrome. This will be very beneficial. So cruise control is far more common in the American cars than the European cars, because the road network in America is very wide and straight as compared to the road network in the most of the European countries. However, with increase in traffic condition, cruise control may be less useful, but instead of becoming obsolete or ineffective, the cruise control systems are adapting to this new reality, which is main objective of adaptive cruise control systems. Nowadays, a new generation cars are designed with adaptive cruise control system, otherwise it is known as autonomous or active cruise control, which by means of sensor it allows the car to follow the other cars in the same line while constantly adjusting the speed to maintain safe distance. So adaptive cruise control system does not only maintain the set speed or distance when the vehicle is in the operation, but it also prevents the road accidents in the highways. So now let us consider the block diagram representation for the previous figure which we have seen. So considering the closed loop transfer function of typical ACC system, that is adaptive cruise control system, as shown in the figure 3, that means the figure which is shown here. The stability of closed loop system can be calculated for constants K1, K2 and K3, and the values obtained were substituted into the characteristic equation to general real values to determine whether or not the ACC closed loop system is in this particular study, whether it is stable or not. So as of now, since we are not dealing with the control systems in the automobile industry, we will just try to calculate its transfer function with respect to the diagram which is given here, and then we will try to and in the next semester, in the subject of automotive transmission control, we will try to examine whether this system is stable or not using Ruth Horvitz criteria. So now you can see here XS is considered as input, then capital K, G1S and G2S are considered to be the blocks which are connected in forward line, and there is single feedback HS which is connected in the reverse line. So now let us try to understand the meaning of various terms. So here G1S is transfer function of an actuator, J2S is transfer function of a plant, HS is transfer function of measurement plant, that is this which is coming from sensor. G0S is nothing but the open loop transfer function. GCL, that is considered as closed loop transfer function. So transfer function for this closed loop system, we can write this as multiplication of K into G1S into G2S divided by 1 plus, because HS is minus, so we can write this as 1 plus K into G1S into G2S into H. So here G1S is considered as 1 upon S plus 12, G2 is considered as 10 divided by S plus 2, and HS is considered as 1. So these values are taken from some assumptions which we will put in the formula of in the equation of transfer function of closed loop system, so that we can get the final answer as 10K divided by S square plus 14S plus 24 plus 10K. So this will be considered as the transfer function for the closed loop system.